They weren't just couples, they were brands, curated empires built on desire and illusion. Hollywood royalty performing perfection on a global stage. Glossy covers whispered promises of forever. Red carpets became runways for devotion. We envied them, reposted them, romanticized them, investing our own hopes in their stage perfection. We needed to believe. But behind the curated smiles were secrets, control, and emotional chaos. And the warning signs? They weren't just missed, they were drowned out by the applause we provided. The intense public adoration became part of the trap, making it harder to leave, harder to speak. We weren't just audience members, we were unpaid extras in a carefully choreographed fantasy, until it's shattered. But the applause eventually fades, and the spotlight can't hide everything forever. In this video, we're dissecting the truth behind relationships elevated to mythic status, narratives that shaped our very ideas of love. On the surface, they look like aspirational love stories, but underneath, often lies, power struggles, and insidious emotional manipulation, sometimes employing tactics like love bombing that feels like a dream, or gaslighting that makes you doubt your reality. This isn't just celebrity gossip. It's about the danger of internalizing these myths. It's not always that love becomes a lie. Often, the foundation itself was the performance. A strategic partnership, a brand merger, a codependent dynamic, expertly packaged as epic romance, sold in high definition, and consumed with emotional investment. We're exploring how easily we mistake control, silence, and chaos for connection, especially when it's presented so beautifully. To understand how these dynamics operate, let's examine a case where silence screamed louder than any words. Number 1. Diddy and Cassie, the weaponization of silence. For over a decade, Cassie Ventura was the beautiful enigma beside Sean Diddy Combs. Always present, rarely heard. Was it mystique or calculated erasure? Consider the power imbalance. The established mogul, the gatekeeper, the young artist whose career was tied to his influence. The visual narrative was luxury, access, unwavering presence. The auditory reality, a void. In 2018, she left quietly. Then in 2023, a lawsuit landed like an earthquake, alleging a terrifying decade of physical control, constant surveillance, professional sabotage, and sexual violence. What we mistook as privacy, she alleged, was suppression. Her silence wasn't just hiding abuse, it was arguably curated and marketed as part of the Diddy brand. The powerful man with the devoted, beautiful, unheard partner. Her lack of public voice wasn't an absence. It was constructed as loyalty, like the wallpaper in a mansion. Never noticed, but always holding the image together. The lawsuit didn't just break her silence. It shattered a core component of his public image, an image requiring her quiet compliance. I thought love meant staying quiet, Cassie revealed, echoing the cage built in plain sight. If you think silence means peace, think again. Sometimes silence isn't just the absence of noise. It's the sound of power being ruthlessly asserted. While Cassie's story highlights the horror of enforced silence, other Hollywood relationships show control wielded publicly, disguised as overwhelming adoration. Number 2. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, love bombs and emotional warfare. When Kim Kardashian and Kanye West united, it was a supernova of fame and fashion. The whirlwind romance, the extravagant gestures, Kanye famously overhauling Kim's wardrobe. It was presented as artistic devotion, textbook love bombing. But the adoration soon revealed its possessive edge. Public declarations of her godlike status intertwined with public attacks on her family, erratic behavior, and demands for loyalty. The pedestal became a platform for his narrative. We watched the cycle on screen. Kim defending him, he's a genius, minimizing outbursts, the private tears, the visible emotional exhaustion masked by composure. Being with a genius is exhausting. While Kanye's documented mental health struggles are relevant, they don't excuse patterns of control. This wasn't just love turning sour. It was arguably the public performance of a merging of empires. Kim's reality TV branding machine and Kanye's cultural capital. The love story was the narrative glue, The subsequent emotional warfare was the spectacle of that merger dissolving, with Kanye weaponizing his platform and Kim managing the fallout. The Genius label became a publicly accepted shield for behavior that eroded her agency. What looks like intense, all-consuming love can be a gilded cage. Emotional control doesn't always shout. Sometimes it redesigns your life, isolates you, and calls it devotion. But what happens when toxicity isn't just one-sided control, but a destructive vortex pulling both down under the relentless glare of the public eye? Number 3, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, mutually assured destruction. Their story wasn't just messy, it became unprecedented global entertainment. The defamation trial streamed live, dissected on TikTok, memified in real time. Leaked audio captured vicious fights. Testimonies painted conflicting, disturbing pictures of physical altercations, substance abuse, and psychological warfare. While the court ultimately sided with Depp in that specific suit, the evidence revealed a deeply corrosive dynamic, a toxic feedback loop. It became a proxy war for broader debates on abuse and belief, often erasing nuance. "We were a crime scene," one associate reportedly described their home. The public trial itself became the final, grotesque performance of their shared addiction to chaos. It wasn't just a legal battle, it was the ultimate stage for their mutually assured destruction. Reputations shredded, trauma broadcast, empathy sacrificed for public opinion and ratings. The real tragedy wasn't just who did what, but how their profound personal pain was transformed into a spectacle that reflected, and perhaps worsened, societal divisions. Not all pain stems from a clear villain. Sometimes the deepest wounds come from the inability to escape a shared spiral, mistaking volatility for passion until you're both drowning. These stories are shocking, unsettling. But why do these patterns, often hidden in plain sight, continue to be glorified or missed entirely? Number 4, why we miss the red flags. Why do we glorify these dynamics? Because we're trained to. Hollywood scripts teach us that pain equals passion, jealousy means love, he's protective, and chaos signals chemistry. They can't stay away from each other. Think of their formed bad boy trope. We absorb these narratives. Add the parasocial connection. We feel we know these stars, making it harder to critique the fantasy. These aren't just celebrity problems, they echo in our own lives. But it's more than just bad scripts. The entire celebrity industrial complex thrives on these illusions. Perfect relationships are marketable products. PR teams spin narratives. Media outlets chase clicks, and the audience craves fairy tales. We aren't just missing red flags. We're often actively encouraged by this ecosystem to overlook them because the fantasy sells. Dysfunction generates drama, keeping us hooked. If you've ever excused toxicity because the beginning felt magical, you're not alone. But recognizing the script and the machine that writes it is the first step to reclaiming your own story. It's crucial to remember these implosions rarely happen overnight. These toxic dynamics didn't collapse suddenly. They eroded day by day under pressure, silence, denial, and control disguised as care. It often starts subtly, criticism framed as help, jealousy as protection, isolation as creating a special world. The warning signs? They were always there, in the silences, the justifications, the public tears behind forced smiles. Learning to see them requires trusting our intuition and questioning the narrative. The prettiest package isn't just the couple's image. It's the entire concept of idealized Hollywood romance we've been sold. The deepest wound isn't just their private pain, it's the cultural wound from continuously peddling these damaging fantasies as goals. Looking again isn't about judging stars. It's about examining why we crave these narratives and how that makes us vulnerable, on screen and off. So how do we start seeing more clearly? These love stories didn't collapse overnight. They eroded day by day under pressure, silence, and denial. And the warning signs? They were always there. We just weren't taught to see them. So next time a relationship looks too perfect, look again. Sometimes the prettiest package hides the deepest wounds. Which of these stories hit you the hardest? Comment below. We want to hear your story. And if you found this video helpful, share it with someone who needs to see the signs. Make sure you're subscribed because up next, we're breaking down the Hollywood image machine and how stars lose themselves trying to look perfect. Watch next. Harry Styles hides a dark truth in As It Was. Echoes of himself.